Welcome, folks. We are here. The Stock Squad is back. I always appreciate all the guys coming on here. Yeah, it's exciting. It's a good time. I hope you guys appreciate the knowledge these three gentlemen are going to bring you, and I'll say the entertainment I bring you. These guys are here to help you learn and earn. And I know they're gonna. I got my book ready to go. I'm going to be taking notes. And if you're not going to listen to them, I'll have Keenan bop you. We got a lot of good things going on, and I'm excited. The markets, I don't know how these gentlemen feel, but we're going to talk about it. I feel as though this may be one of the biggest opportunities that we're going to have in the next 3 to 6 months. I know you're used to hearing that, and I'm going to ask these guys their opinion on just to get them a heads up, their favorite stocks. And I'm talking about, what are you looking to make the most money off of over the next few months and maybe even years, whatever you guys are looking at. Maybe crypto. Are you bullish yet? Are we still bearish? Are you waiting for the extreme confirmation? And of course, the Fed and everything that's happening out there in the world. We're going to be covering all of it. As you saw in the thumbnail, we're going to talk crypto price predictions, stock price predictions, just get into a whole gamut of things and go from there. So I just want to start. Keenan, thank you. Josh, thank you. Oh, Larry, it's good to have you back, my friend. It's good to see back. All of us, man. I missed you.
I'll set the tone if you're ready.
Yep, so, do it up.
Everybody, first of all, Mo, thanks for having us on. Larry, it's so good to see you, and Josh, it's great to see you as well. Everybody, let's get some energy in here. Let's hit the like button. Remember, it's always about the quality of people you view and the quality of the viewer. And I feel like all of the quality is in this room right now, whether it be me, Mo, Josh, Larry, or you, the viewers, the supporters. I can see some of you. Charles, I see you. Mark, I see you. John, I see you. JF, I see you. The great one, I see you. All of us. Everybody throw 100 in the chat and hit the like. Now, what I wanted to say was something that Mo has spoke on related to cryptocurrency. Are we waiting for confirmation? Now, we got the chart go in the building. Shout out to Stocks with Josh. If you're looking for the technicals on anything, you know where to go. However, wait, looking for confirmation is for traders. Do I have any investors?
There it is.
Let's go. If I try to get into XRP, I'm looking for confirmation. If I try to get into Solana, I'm looking for confirmation. But me, I can't tell you what to buy, hold, or sell. Like Larry would say, this is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. But me, I'm an investor in Bitcoin. If Bitcoin was 50K, I'm going to buy 15K. If Bitcoin was 100K, I'm going to buy 15K because I'm on a dollar cost average investment cycle with Bitcoin. Now, I got my investor hat on with that, but not with everything. There are other things that I got to go check Mo's channel. Wait for that confirmation. Is it time to buy that? I go to Larry's channel. Is it time for what they call them? What was it? The Shib Daddy? Is it time? Is it time? Is it time for it? Or you know how Josh was doing with Sui? Is it time? That's when I go and check those channels. I see what time it is. But with Bitcoin, like I said, I'm an investor. So then I just buy it regularly, regardless of the price, because I believe it's going to go higher. Everybody who's listening to this right now, I want to speak life into you, and I want to speak your investments into just prosperity. And it might take time. Let me know what you are invested heavy into that you want to see go higher. Let us know in the chat. Everybody, even if you've never commented before, let us know. I wanted to just set the tone. Mo, please carry on.
I love it. And that's the beauty of having us all together. Man, there's so many, you got so many different pieces of knowledge. The nuggets are going to be flying. I love it. Josh, welcome to the show. Thoughts? What do you think? And we got the long term. You got the swing trading talk. Where are you at?
All right. So I want to go a little bit out of the box today, and I'm going to kick off a conspiracy theory idea on the markets. Okay. And it's this idea that, and we don't get political, but the fact that the U.S. has taken a role in Venezuela and that has given the United States access to their stockpile of oil, right? And China gets 60% of their oil from Venezuela. And number one and number two stockpiles of oil, the largest in the world, is the U.S. and then Venezuela, putting us of oil under our control, 600 million barrels I don't know. A lot of oil. Now, here's my point. I've been kind of wondering what could put this market into that blow off top, feverish peak of AI stocks and growth stocks taking off. Well, we all know for the last couple of years, it's been inflation fears. That's what's kept the Fed from basically unleashing the dollars and lowering the rates and giving all American companies access to cheaper borrowing and give the American people access to cheaper borrowing again. A lot of people, that total consumer debt is, I believe, $2 trillion, the highest it's ever been. But here's the idea. This oil situation could change everything. Now, I'm not saying that this is what will happen, but let's entertain it for a minute. Donald Trump floods the market with cheap oil. He starts unleashing these barrels, hundreds of billions of barrels, and he drops the price of gas in the United States down to $1. Okay. The immediate impact of that would be it would slash shipping costs in half, if not deeper. And the reduction of shipping, it would ramp up the movement of products and the movement of American manufacturing and goods within the country. It would lower the cost of everything. It would drop the cost of groceries and overall products by potentially 40% from one day to the next. Inflation would completely disappear. Matter of fact, it could go down to the lowest rate that this country has seen in decades, completely giving this new Fed or even the old Fed, giving any Fed the opportunity to drop the rates and get this economy in, I would say, full rocket mode. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, but this is now a huge looming threat to the bears. Now, I've been saying, correctly so, that the market has reached this top, and I've kind of said, guys, here are the triggers for a breakdown, but it hasn't broken down yet. And I asked this question in November and December. I said, what would be the catalyst for us to go higher? I said, I just don't see it. The market's gone up for 7 months straight. What would take us higher? Well, putting inflation fears in the rearview mirror, 100%. So far back, we can't even see them. The Fed dropping rates by huge percentage points, not maybe 25 points in June, but we're talking whole points because inflation is off the table. Yes, that could be the reason that we don't have a big slowdown. And then we know that this is a midterm election year and that the market drops 20% at some point in the year because of the uncertainty regarding the midterm election. But that usually happens in the third quarter, between late summer, September, and October, that volatility comes. I would tell you that if and depending on what the White House does here very, very soon with oil, it could have a huge effect on the economy. And it could be all guns a-blazing again. And we're rocketing higher. There's my little bit of my conspiracy talk. I don't know what'll happen, but that would be a game changer, my friends.
Yeah, I like that. And we're going to have Larry give his opinion on everything. And we'll come back and circle because I want to introduce Larry. My friend, it is good to see you again. It's been way too long, and I'm just happy to have you back.
Man, you guys are a sight for sore eyes and a sight for sore ears. And that is by far an understatement. I have to start off. Josh, I keep telling y'all, man, we come out with hey, I'm John, I'm Pete. Josh comes out like, he just, no one's left standing. He just unloads. I really appreciate all of that information. I want to comment on that, but I must say thank you to you three gentlemen. First, let me cut this furnace off because it's going to come on. I must say this first because I would be remiss if I didn't. I want to say that you guys spoil me. The three of you gentlemen, the way you prop me up and hold me up in my lowest is just unheard of. And I want you guys to know out there that these three guys are my brothers, period. All right. So I'll just leave it there. But then I have some things that I want to add to what Josh said.
Yeah. So I think I can speak for all three of us, Larry. you have brought us together way back in the day. I remember you reaching out, and Larry reached out to a lot of us, and he said, look, I think we could always do these things on our own, but I think we have a lot in common in trying to help people. Let's just try to help people together. And I got to tell you, I was all for it. And then we met Keenan and Josh, and now we went from working together just to being great friends. And so we wouldn't all be here together if we weren't great friends. If you ever worked with somebody, you know what it's like. But this isn't work. We have fun. We're trying to teach. We get together outside of this place. And at the end of the day, when you're friends for as long as we've been friends, years and years, things happen. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scene personally to all of us that we are there for each other. And Larry just went through the worst thing that can ever happen to any human. I get upset just thinking about it. And so I want everybody to know we do the best we can to help everyone. But more importantly, we got to make sure we're helping each other when we are at those lowest moments. You guys know, I always say thoughts and prayers for everyone who needs them. Let's put some prayers in the chat if you don't mind. I know my mom's fighting for her life right now. It has to have 1 to 2 more heart operations in the next. They have stents and all kinds of things they're doing to her. It's crazy, and she's so weak. So I always appreciate if you could put some prayers in the chat. And Larry, I'm always going to be here. And I know Keenan will always be here. Josh, I'm sure they'll speak on this. He's always here for us. I mean, we have a great friendship, and I hope that lasts until my last breath. And you don't even have to say thank you. It's implied that when we get together, we are here for each other, not just spreading knowledge nuggets. So I am curious, Larry, your thoughts.
Sure.
On the Venezuela. I think it's bigger. And everybody hit the like button. Let's get this video out. So hit the like button.
So let's cut through the crap. We know this is not because Maduro or whatever his name is. We know that it's not because the leader was a bad guy. There's bad guys everywhere. You know me. I just cut through the crap. That's not the reason why. Okay. And all of the reasons why we've heard, that's not the reason why. Guys, if you could only allow us to be truthful and cut through the crap. It's about positioning, control, and oil. It is. And so, and if you can't see that, then Ray Charles got better vision than all of us.
I always like that.
So, and I will say this, okay? All right. So I'm going to go out further than Josh did. Historically, it's the second half of the year. That's the bad part in an election year, midterms, right? Right, Josh?
Yeah.
I think it'll come in the first half. And I think that the recovery will be in the last half. I could be wrong. That's just what I think, all right, would happen. But here's what is good about the market, okay? Now, don't take Larry's word for it. I'm just saying that there's a probability that this year it could reverse. So both could happen, just reverse, right? But there's a lot of money that is loaded. The president has his bop gun full. So you got no tax on tips. You got no tax on overtime. You got no tax on Social Security. I know all of those have limits. Now we got cheap gas that's going to be flooding. Before the president elections, it was the cost of bread and gas, right? And you remember in prior elections, everybody just complained. Remember, we were paying $5 a gallon. Mm-hmm. That made or broke the presidency. And so now we got cheap gas coming this summer because we taking it. But anyway, and I don't say that proudly at all. And so now you have the no tax on tips, overtime, Social Security, and there's a lot more money that is loaded in this BBB bill. And you best believe if the market goes down, to be honest with you, it'd be better for us all if it happened earlier, because the president is going to load his bop gun up and everything is going positively positive, should I say, is going to start happening. Then we have his Fed, who he already has picked, waiting to take the chair. And he's going to start slashing prices like it's the biggest, like it's a going out of business sale, slashing prices on the and we may see a 50 basis point cut rather than just 25. Okay, so that's what I think. I think that we're going to end up higher. I think we could see 74, 76, 78 on the S&P by the end of this year. So don't get me wrong. This is not gloom and doom. I think we got a great year. But if there's a dip, people are going to buy this dip.
All right. I love it. Hey, shout out to Money Mike Stocks. Hey, I appreciate it. You guys know, let's go Money Mike, dropping the 50 bones on there. I'll go out and get Tesla Cat a couple extra mice to play with around the house. The little green furry ones that aren't real. Maybe some temptations. We don't know. But thank you, Money Mike. I do appreciate that. Make sure you guys check out Money Mike's channel as well. All right. Hey, guys, I think personally, we got millions to make this year. And I mean millions. I'm talking the crowds out there following us, everything that's going to go on. I think this is going to be a banner year. Now, I'm going to bring up something. And then I'd like you guys to maybe think about some stocks. We'll go stocks next and then move into crypto after that. But I wonder if you guys pull up some stocks you like and why. But I'm going to throw this out there. I have been reading about the big, beautiful bill. And I know that was a contentious thing that people either hate or love. The left hates it. The right loves it. Those in the middle says, what can it do for me? Well, I think at the end of the day, you're going to get to like it or hate it. Doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. Tax season's coming, and we're here. You're getting those W-2 sent. Everything's coming in. In the neutral, the independent agencies are saying the average tax return will be $1,000 on average higher. I don't know if it was family or individual, but it's a lot. And so if we have an extra grand per person, and for those who don't know, the biggest quarter for a lot of like crypto and stocks normally is that first quarter. Larry hit it once again. The man is a walking just genius when it comes to the history of the markets. And of course, as I know Keenan or Josh said, Shib Daddy. I'd rather call him a genius and gone with that than Shib Daddy, but he can go by either name. So put all that together. History is on our side for this first quarter and second quarter. We have record, according to what I'm hearing, a record tax return season incoming. And throw a little icing on the cake for everybody. I think I've been saying this since October, November, if the Republicans win in 2026, you'll have a stimulus check. Now it's going to be called a tariff refund check. It's going to be called whatever. It's happening. They're going to try to get that check out because everybody's going to love them. Are you going to be mad if somebody gives you money? No. And what they're going to do is the same thing they did during his first term. Now, this is my conspiracy theory, is they're going to make sure he signs the check. The one thing Biden regretted, he said, one thing I regret is that I didn't sign that stimulus check. And Trump did. It helped him win votes. They know this. It helped them the first time around. They are going to do it the second time around. I don't want to hear about inflation. I don't want to hear about any of it because you guys just, you have to understand it's about who owns the Congress and the White House, and that's what they want. They'll deal with the effects of it afterwards. But if we combine what you just talked about with the possibility, I'm talking about the three gentlemen here, of having inflation crater from oil prices going down, I'm going to build on Josh's theory that if we get into a deflationary time, they're going to want to drive up prices. What better way than issuing that stimulus check? Thoughts on the stocks, what stocks would be set up? I don't care what we talk about, but I am curious of what plays you guys like, because I got my notebook here and it's not for bopping. I'm ready to make some money. I'll start with you, Josh.
Well, yeah. So I'm going to stick with conspiracy theories tonight. I like being on other people's channels so I can just unleash my ideas. But let's go deeper into the
don't get me in trouble.
Yeah, the Wall Street Washington fiasco or swamp. But so Netflix, right? Netflix is down significantly. I think we can go down to $82, and that would pull us 40% down from the top. But it's going down right now because they're trying to price in the cost of this big deal, but it's not going up right now because there's no guarantee that they've got the deal. So why don't they have the deal right now? Well, there's a lot of people that are saying that the reason why Larry Ellison is fighting tooth and nail to try to pull this deal away from Netflix and get his hands on Warner Brothers and HBO is because now I've said it before, he's broke. He doesn't have the money. Rich guy, a very rich guy on paper, but Oracle is $110 billion in debt. And to really grow and reach the AI goal that people have for him, to fulfill that backlog of opportunity, he's got to spend billions and billions of dollars. A company that's $110 billion in debt already, he's got to spend another $100 billion to try to tap into that opportunity. He's looking for money anywhere he can find it. He doesn't have the money to buy Warner Brothers. So why is he in there fighting? Because he wants them to spin off CNN so that he can help his buddy Trump out before midterm elections, control the narrative, control what's being said, so that Trump can remain in power and have the support of the rest of the branches of power behind him for the next 2 years so he can fulfill his goals. So right now the stakes are very high. Now you say, so I'm not just talking about this controversy. I like Netflix. I think we need to keep our eye on it because as soon as this drama unfolds, and it has to largely unfold before the second quarter, so it could remain actively in play the first quarter, but somewhere between now and the next couple months, as we move closer to the second quarter, I think this has to get worked out. All the tug and war will get worked out, and then you guys are going to find that that likely, Larry Ellison's son picks up the CNN piece and the couple other pieces they want on the cheap. And then Netflix gets the deal they want. And as soon as it gets approved, and all of a sudden Trump's going to change his tune. He's going to come out and say, I didn't like it. It was too big of a deal. But, this is okay. We got to let American companies move forward. And then you're going to see Netflix get all the way back up to $150, down from 80 all the way up to 150, maybe 160. You're talking about 100% move on a large cap stock because there's nobody that's really doing what Netflix is doing. They've consistently grown their market share. And I talked about this, guys, that when they pull over HBO, they can raise their money for everybody. Okay. All their global customers, they can raise their costs and they can give them something more. And the customer wins as well because they don't pay as much as they would previously when they tried to subscribe to both of those assets. So they pay a little bit more. Netflix quickly recovers all the cost of spending this $70 to $80 billion in acquiring this business. They win. Everybody wins. Trump gets what he wants. So I'm going to shout out that the most interesting stock over the next 3 months, 2 to 3 months, is Netflix. We got to watch it very carefully. I think we're still under selling pressure because none of this has been worked out. And Wall Street's waiting very carefully for this to get worked out, for us to possibly get down to that $82. And then you're going to see some buying. And so my most interesting stock to me right now, and it's not a buy right now, unless you're a very long-term investor, but it probably will be in an ideal place over the course of the next 60 days.
All right, I got to tell you, I looked at that one, been watching it. You guys brought that up the last time we talked about a month ago, I think it was. It's been a while because of the holidays. I had that in my notes, been watching it. That 85 price zone is where we hit lows 2 different times, I think, over the last year or two. And every time it hit 85, it bounced up. And so I think you said 82 price. So I would say anywhere between the 82 and 85. Don't be surprised if that becomes the low. And like Josh said, you bounce up, back up to go up to 160. And this company is worth 400 and something billion. All of a sudden, you're getting a home run. You're doubling your money. I don't know. It's a price prediction. It's what we talk about. We'll see. Josh, before I let you go, then I'm going to ask Keenan the same question. What's the last stock you bought?
I love it. The last stock that I bought was Bitcoin. And I'd love to enter into a conversation with you about crypto right now, when you're ready.
Not yet. I'm getting Keenan up. So you got a combo. You got a stock, but it owns crypto. So we'll come back to that. Keenan, you're on. Well, you could talk about Venezuela. You could talk about anything you want, but I still am going to ask you the same thing. what stocks do you like, and what's the last stock you bought? So you can go in any order you want, but I'm interested. The notes are ready.
So the last stock that I bought was Google, and I'm talking about last stock that I bought in heavy. You could also say VUG or something like an ETF like that, but that's all the time. I'm buying that stuff all the time. So in terms of an individual company, it's Google. And shout out to my Google shareholders. Throw a G in the chat. We just became the second largest company in the entire world.
That's
if
right.
you would have told me that Google would have been a bigger company than Microsoft or a bigger company than Apple, you might have got laughed out the room. It was a great company, but bigger than them, I couldn't see it. However, I knew that it was a really good company, but then they said, no, you thought I was a really good company, like an all-star. I'm actually a Hall of Fame player. I'm even better than that. So then I loaded up on Google, and now I'm up. Family, I'm gonna just tell y'all this. This is a testimony. I made so much money on Google that it's the same exact amount that it cost me to buy my mother a home. So Google basically brought my mother.
Personally, I know how much that is.
Google bought my mother a home in cash. This is the power of the stock market. I tell y'all this. I say that to say this. I've been having success on the stock market. I've been bumping shoulders with the giants. I'm talking about your stock Mo's, your stocks with Josh, your Larry Jones, bumping shoulders with them. And it was deep in my heart because my mother was living in the hood. I couldn't have that. I escaped out of the hood. But what I did was I wanted to give her an asset and not a liability. I didn't want to get her a mortgage. So I paid for it all in cash. And now I made that exact amount of money in Google stock. Awesome. And it has saved my mother from having to live her whole life. My mother's about 64 right now. And now she don't have to live and die in the hood. You know what I'm saying? She get to see a little bit of the finer things. So I am so grateful for that. And I know a lot of you want to do the same for the people that you love. And not just like this, not just, hey, I got you a car, but I really got you a car note. Or not just, hey, I got you a home, but I really got you a mortgage. No, I was able to give them this asset, particularly my mother, so she could have it and then just coast and do the things that she loved versus having to fight for how she gonna pay this because her baby boy already did it. So again, throw a heart in the chat for my mom. And I'm just trying to love on her because Mo, Larry, Josh, I speak to you guys often, and I see how you see yourself in me in some ways. However, I'm younger. And I spoke to, it was Larry and Josh. We might have been in Hawaii, and we were talking about how, you guys might have said that God didn't give it to me at this time because I might not have been ready.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. So me being fortunate enough to bump shoulders with the giants, like I was just saying, Mo, Larry, Josh, and I see how much love you have for your mom, how much you have for your dad, for your people. So then I know the love that you've had, and I know what you would have done if you had that chance. So then I walk the path that I know 3 great men would have walked.
You'll never regret that.
I love y'all and I appreciate y'all, and I'm gonna keep on this path. And I believe that we are gonna inspire so many people to be able to do that exact thing, to be able to pour into others. I was talking to Larry, and he was saying it's better to give than to receive. Let me start it from the top. It's better to give than to receive. Why? Because it's a blessing to be in the position of the giver. You're in the position of the giver. That is so true. I was blessed so that I could be able to give. And if I wouldn't give $1, how would I ever be able to give $100,000? How would I be able to give $300,000 if it was never in me from the jump? Because money only makes you more of who you already were. So I encourage everybody who's in here, when you think about your investing, when you think about your financial freedom, when you think about loading up on Bitcoin, Google, or Netflix, which I think all 3 of them are great. When you think about this, it's not just about the money. It's about what are we going to do with it? What are we going to do to help the people who need the help, to help the people who we love, to help the people who we need to forgive? to help the people who have forgiven us for what we've done wrong. So we could walk the path of somebody who we know we can be versus somebody who we might have been chained to, some insecurities we have, some things that we ashamed of, some things that we're guilty of. No, we're moving forward and we're going to help each other. And we try to help each other every single day. So I want to just piggyback off of what Josh said. I've been loading up on Netflix too. I said Google because I bought it way heavier. However, I loaded up on some Netflix at about $89, right? I didn't catch the 85, but it's all good. I can see Netflix once they deal with Warner Brothers going through. No guarantees, but I can see that, to be honest, almost doubling from here. So I say all of that to say, I believe, somebody let me know in the chat, Netflix might have been $140 stock or $160 stock. You go fact check that, let me know. However, I could see it getting back up there, and they are going to be crowned the new content king, the new king of content. Disney holds the crown now. However, when Netflix gets Warner Brothers, they are going to own DC Comics. They are going to own Harry Potter. They are going to own so many different properties. Among the things that they already have, it's going to be a modern day king of
HBO, Game of Thrones, all Game of that.
Thrones, HBO Max, all of these different things. So when this deal goes through, and if we are going to see content on a level that we have not seen. And then Netflix has already shown us something in their business model. They told you, and you know, it got a lot of us frustrated. Hold up, you're not home. You can only be signed in here. When you try to sign into your account, now you got to get 2 accounts if you want to be at multiple different spots. And we thinking, oh man, Netflix, they about to get cooked. But guess what? No, they didn't get cooked. People bought the second account. They upped it. They upgraded. They had the low tier. Now they got the high tier. So what is that telling us? People will pay for Netflix. And my parents in the chat, my parents, people who have kids, you know your kid be on that iPad watching Netflix all day. And it's going to keep being that way. This is going to keep happening as time goes on.
Yep.
What is that doing? This is helping the company, because the kids who are watching Netflix now, they're going to watch Netflix as they age. They're just going to watch different things, but they're already in the ecosystem. It's similar to how banks do. Banks will let you get like a savings account or a checking account or something when you're like 15. Not because they think that 15-year-old you is going to bring them any ROI, but they know you might become stock Mo. You might become stocks with Josh. You might become Larry Jones. And you had this account since you was 15. You very likely still have it today. So Netflix is doing that same thing with the kids. They got all of these young child shows that kids are watching. And as they grow up, they're going to stay in the ecosystem because it's familiar. So Netflix is a stock that I would say personally, if you haven't bought it, I can't tell you to buy it. At a minimum, watch it. But I'll be buying it. And as soon as that Warner Brother deal goes through or not, and even if it doesn't go through, we might get a dip, but Netflix is still fighting to be the content king. So I'm watching out for that.
All right, so I'm gonna hit this up on Keenan. Keenan just said if it doesn't go through, look for the dip. I remember a big deal, Keenan. It was Hershey. They were gonna get bought out. It was talk just like this Netflix. It failed. And you know what happened to the stock of Hershey, or of the company that was going to buy, AKA Netflix now buying the other company? It went through the roof because they didn't have all this extra debt, and they didn't have, so it went back up. And the Hershey crashed down because it wasn't getting bought out. Hershey stays who it was, who it's been. And to this day, they talk about companies buying Hershey. No one's bought Hershey. So I have one piece of experience that I can pull from, is that if it doesn't go through, Netflix is going to spike. If it does go through, Netflix may have that dip in the beginning, like Keenan said, but I expect it to absolutely destroy it. I'm with him, man. I think this is huge. So great analysis by Keenan. Of course, again, he knows what he's talking about. So hopefully everybody wrote that down. All right, Josh, I see you have a chart.
I wanted to build on what Keenan was saying a moment ago and just talk about this chart. Google is, in a unique position. I only wanted to show you guys this. Let me see if I can turn it on. If I put a fib trend-based extension here, it gives us a target of 380. So I just wanted you guys to know, if this wants to rip and break out, it's got to first close a weekly candle above this 329. And you can see that it's not been able to do that yet. This is the second time. If it fails to do it, right, and we come beneath the low of this double top, that means that you take the middle of that breakout down to the middle, and that gives you your target, which we would put down here, and it would largely put us back into this zone of 300 and 275. So I just want you guys to understand, there's nothing slowing this chart down now. This is an incredibly beautiful chart. Keenan mentioned that it's the the market share position that it's achieved. That would have been hard for any of us to have imagined that in early 2024 that it was going to rise the way that it did. If it closes a weekly candle above 329, it gives us a potential target, and I would say one candle to close, one candle to cross and close. The next candle has to break the high of that candle. That's a 2-candle confirmation on any structure. If we got that, the target becomes 380. And that would really be just, we're talking this thing would have been just absolutely ripping up. I do think that that would be the near-term top, and we probably would consolidate for a long time before going higher. And so I just wanted you guys to be aware, 329 is the trigger. We get that through the fib trend-based extension. If it fails here and breaks 300, which is a huge psychological level, which I really don't see, but I would love it. I bet Keenan would love it. Then it puts us into this buy zone that I think would be a steal for the next couple of years, which would be between 300 and 275. I just have a hard time imagining that it'll do that. But I wanted you guys to have some technicals on what to expect, where, and why on Google.
And it's the interesting. I'm pulling up my holdings here, and I know I have. Wow, that Google's one of my biggest holdings in the portfolio, over 320 something K worth, and it's. I'm telling you, the AI is so unpredictable on how high this is going to go with the robots. Did you guys see? Not to change the subject before I get to Larry and have his best stock. Did you guys see Atlas from Boston Dynamics?
Mm-mm.
The thing moved like a human. I'll pull Larry up because that was unbelievable.
That
Larry,
Atlas is crazy, Mo. Literally, the head can be looking this way and then turn this way.
Has
the hand
360 vision.
I did see that.
Unbelievable.
It
walked like a human. It was fluid. It
walked out. Can I say this, Josh? It walked out like a brother. It literally had. it walked out like.
It had some swagger to it, didn't it?
That's it.
What's up?
Yeah. Larry, in all seriousness, I looked up the price. Larry, would you get one? They're 100,000.
Yep.
The dexterity is unbelievable. They're having it to work with Hyundai, but they did bring up, what did they say in their speeches when they unveiled it this week? We are getting it for home, commercial, manufacturing. Down. They want to make it for home. They said home.
Yeah.
And so you guys know Rosie from the Jetsons?
Yep.
Folks, Rosie didn't look that good, as Larry said. No. So what do you think, Larry? I didn't want to change the subject to that because I know you're getting ready for the best stock. But, man, I just wanted to bring that up because the AI for Google, I think, is going to lead. They're going to need AI programming for all these bots and everything else. I think Google's going to win it, honestly. But thoughts, Larry, on what your stock is and everything else?
Okay. And I promise you this before anybody talk. Google is like, as far as AI, Google's my top. Okay.
Me too. Yep,
but
me too.
I will tell you guys, I'm going to make mine short so we can keep it moving. I'm going to tell you what I'm not buying at this point. Okay. And don't get like Larry. Anything we say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. I'm not buying gold and precious metals at this point. I'm not chasing at this point. All right. I'm not buying banks at this point, though. I know a lot of people are rotating and think that banks are going to take off. But I just remember another time period like this, and banks didn't pan out the way that they did. The buying of banks was already in this period. And so when they thought it was going to happen, it already happened, and it wasn't a bigger move. And I'm not buying oil. And I know that those are the three that I'm not buying. I think we just need to bring that up. Here's what I am buying, and I do have Uber. I think that when full AI autonomous driving is just full on. There is no way around them partnering with Uber. And I know Waymo is killing the game. And I know that there is other competition. But as far as apps and users, no other company in America comes close to Uber, but but the other one, Lyft, which
I've been saying that. I've been saying that all year.
Yes. And I put my money where my mouth is. I hear you.
And Lyft isn't even close, but it is second.
Exactly. So now Google, for those of you that don't know, Alphabet is Google. I just put in, it just came up. Google is another one, right? Now, Google is, as far as AI, I believe it's my top as far as AI with, Microsoft and all of that. Google is one of my top. I'm going to say that. And APLD, which was a darling last year. And Josh said something, and I need you guys, I'm going to repeat what Josh said. He said, I'm too scared to sell APLD. I can't tell you guys when it's going to run. He says, I'm too scared to sell it. Remember saying that, Josh?
Yep.
And it's something about that registered with me. I was like, this is like the little darling that could, the little engine that could. APLD, I believe, is going to have a massive breakout at some point. It's just building the foundation. All right. Granny Shots, ticker symbol GRNY. It's an ETF. I'm up 23% on an ETF since Liberation Day, okay? Since after Liberation Day. And I didn't even load up at the very bottom, though I did buy some. It is performing well. I want you to go in and Google what's in GRNY, Granny Shots, and then you'll understand why. And then VUG is it's one of my biggest ETFs, VUG. I've been in that for over a year now. You guys know, you guys heard me talk about VUG and GRNY forever and a day. And I'm going to give you a bonus. Okay. Here we go. Oklo and Amazon. Oklo, I like it. Larry, why did you sell it? I just wanted it to find a better price. And I wanted some of the fog to come away. Oklo, we have to look for alternative energy that's going to drive AI. Right now, we don't have enough energy to do everything that they've put the money up all ready to do. We don't have the energy to do that. Okay. And Amazon. Why? Amazon, just like.
Stop you for a second, Larry. You look like you've been working out, man.
Man, boy, I have. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on.
I have.
I just had to say that.
Let me borrow that jacket. But I have been working out a lot, man, trying to burn off some frustration and, trying to burn off some emotions. But I have been working out. Thank you. I mean, that way.
That way. Love it.
So look, Amazon, you know what? That robot that Mo was talking about,
Atlas,
the Atlas is a car company, right, Mo?
Boston Dynamics?
Yeah, yes. Boston Dynamics has integrated with a car company, right?
I don't know all about what they do, but I just know that robot is unbelievable.
Yes, they're building cars. So the first video I saw, somebody Google what car company is Boston Dynamics partnering with.
I'm on it.
They're actually on the assembly line putting cars together. And that's and they bought the company. They bought shares into the company. So I'm giving you more levels. Is it Hyundai or something like that?
Well, yeah, Hyundai. Yeah, I said that they were working with Hyundai to have the robot working on the floor with them.
Exactly. Yeah. So when you look at a car company, you don't think AI, right? You don't think AI at all. You think, but then you see that robot, you say, that's cool. Well, the car company bought our major shareholders in the robotics company, right? Who's next? Amazon. I believe Amazon and AI is just going to take off. But the difference with Amazon is they could use the technology and they could sell the technology. They could sell all of the products from the technology. What's one of Amazon's biggest costs other than vehicles and gas? Payroll. And what's going to automate it and cut that payroll down by 2/3? AI and robotics. I rest my case.
Well, okay. Yeah, we're running down to the last 15 minutes. And I got to tell you guys, Larry, first, dude, you killed it, man. I love that list, man. You came ready, packed, and just ready to kill it. So I'm going to start out this one. Then we're going to finish up with the three gentlemen. That should probably take us to 15 minutes. Here it is. The part I love, and I only love this part not because it's, oh, he's been crypto. I have a crypto miner literally mining crypto on my desk. It's this big little BitX thing. And no, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but it has a 1 terahash mining processing, and it does Bitcoin. And so every 10 minutes, there's a new block. I possibly could get one, but the odds are like 1 in a million or whatever. But that's the fun of it. I have my name in a hat for a block, and it can happen. It's happened before. And if it happens, I get what, 250, 300,000. And if it doesn't happen, it costs me a couple bucks a year, and it gives me something to look at every day. So that leads us into crypto. I am going to ask these gentlemen. We'll start with Josh once I get to it, because I want to tell you which one I'm watching, which one I think's the best right now. And I'm not talking about the teeny ones that are market caps 500 past, the really small ones. What do you think for crypto? And you could say it in general, or a favorite crypto, or just crypto in general. I'll leave it very open. I'm going to narrow it down to the one I like the best. And I when I say the best, I'm saying risk reward. I believe crypto is going to pump by the end of March. I can't tell you exact day it's going to start. It could have already started, but I believe by the end of March, we'll be retesting highs. I'm giving you a time. Why? I want to give you the why. I believe the tax returns and the talk of possible tariff refunds, because tomorrow's decision day from the Supreme Court for the tariffs, and that'll make or break everything. If they come out and say, you owe everybody money in terms of refunds for all the businesses, that's going to hurt I think a lot of things we talked about could get hammered, or will stocks go up? I don't know. But the decision, I believe, is coming out tomorrow for the Supreme Court. So that's a huge thing that everybody needs to pay attention to. Number 2, the tax returns. Number 3, tariff refund check. That'll all be kind of tied together. I believe, and the Clarity Act, decisions will be made. The next step is in January as well, into February. Put all that together with the history saying that January, February, March is the best quarter for crypto normally. And I think we're going to have that run. You had a massive sell-off from October, November, December. We're into January. You see buying already, a lot of buying. You have that push down after it gets overbought. We go down to key support levels, and I think we move up from there. Now, I told you I'd give you one crypto I'm watching. I'm going to pull it up here, and boom. This is Solana. Solana, surprise, surprise, is the one that I think is going to do the best, and I'm loading up. I'm up to $150,000 worth of Solana. I continue to load up more, and I'm buying another 50 to 150,000 more of Solana. And if it reverses and it confirms lower and everything else, I'll get out. If it continues to build strength, that is when I will double up the position. So I am going to do the risk reward DCA way into this in case everything tanks. And I have key lines for Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Dogecoin, Solana. If I hit them, I'm out. I don't want to go over that, but I do have those lines in the sand. Solana, with Morgan Stanley coming out and getting their first ever spot ETFs, Bitcoin and Solana, not Ethereum, not XRP. They got Solana. Dude, that was huge to me. And I believe as we go forward, more and more institutions that are doing crypto business will include Solana. Solana's been absolutely just crushed lower, and now they're starting to rebound. In their chart, compared to the other charts, you don't see a single X on here for overbought. You don't see the Bollinger Band broke once. In other words, it's a uniform, nice, calm move higher. Even after everything's crashing down, this had one red candle, little bit of a push off the 13, back above the 50. I like it. I think it's the sleeper out of the top 10, 20 cryptos. So that's the one I'm watching. that I think gives me the biggest bang for the buck. If crypto is in winter, like we have discussed in past videos, and the winter is not over till next October, I won't be holding this till October. I'll be stopped out as everything crashes another 50%. But I don't think that's where we're at. That's just my opinion. I'll go to, who do we have? Josh, you're up. And then we'll go Keenan and Larry to finish this thing out. But, I'm curious to see what you think, Josh.
All right. Well, so listen, before I go into the chart, I just want to briefly shout out Lawrence Jones, Larry's father's funeral service. It was unlike anything that I had ever seen or attended. I mean, I think there was on stage alone, there was, between people of honor and the choir, 100-piece choir up there, a band with, 8 or 10 people, Larry's nephew, Lawrence, playing guitar, leading them in a jam like I've never seen before. And I hope it doesn't exist, but I'm pretty sure somewhere out there, there's a little video of me dancing at that funeral.
John, that was shared in my family chat today.
This is that was a celebration of life unlike anything I've ever seen. And, put all the joy and the tears aside, something for me to reflect on probably till the day I die, what that man accomplished. And so I just have to say that Larry, did his father proud, and the whole family did him proud. There was even a piece by the grandkids, which was Sunday service song, Excellent. I don't know if you guys know that. And let me just tell you that those kids crushed it. I mean, it was just absolutely amazing. So I have to just say, Larry, amazing job. And I was very, very honored to be part of it. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was a cool event. Bitcoin. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm going to take you into the chart. Here you guys can see my chart. I'm going to give you the game plan. This is not a suggestion for what you should buy, sell, or hold. I had a conversation with Keenan not too long ago about investment in 2026, and he kind of said, "Man, I'm just worried I haven't bought enough Bitcoin," or something along those lines. He said, by the end of 2026, I wonder now if I will have bought enough. And I just want to highlight to you guys that obviously, if we go off the 4-year cycle, none of us would touch Bitcoin right now because it would appear the time-wise that we have expired. We hit the top. It was an incredible run, 15,000 up to 130,000 from the bottom to the top. I mean, everybody should have made money, and nobody should be disappointed in the results that Bitcoin gave us. Now, having said that, we have made here a series. I mean, forget the narrative of Bitcoin. I'm going to talk to you about the chart. On my page, I say price is truth. We follow the charts. If I exclude every idea about Bitcoin and every talking head and every pundit's opinion and simply look at this chart, and I want you to look at it with me, this is a series of higher highs and higher lows, okay? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So this is a chart that looks very interesting. Now, if what I said was true about, and stuff that you heard Mo and Keenan and Larry say about stimulus checks and inflation dropping to the floor and the United States government refinancing their debt and interest rates being slashed whole percentage points at a time, that type of liquidity is what made Bitcoin just continue to soar in 2021. And until we break 85, and this chart, I haven't changed this chart in months. And I said, when we were up here, I said, stop loss at 107 because it means that the up move is on hold. And sure enough, that was perfect. You can see that we broke that support structure and we flushed down. I said, the story's not over until we close a candle underneath 85K. Now we've wicked it, but now let's zoom in on the chart. What do we have here? Let me clean this up for a minute. What do we have on Bitcoin in the local time frame? We got a series of higher lows stacking one weekly candle on top of the other. This trend up has not broken. And where is it pushing us to? This very clearly established neckline of 95. I'm going to tell you right now that all the bears that got positioned and think that the winter has begun and we're descending into the icy price point of a 50-60% drop off of the high, that's who the market makers are gunning for right now. And if they can get this to close above 95, this is going to panic, those bears. They're going to be forced to close their positions. They're going to be forced to buy, and it pushes us up to 100, 105, 107. Now, if all that liquidity that we talked about that could possibly come into the market occurs, then you know what we're looking for? We're looking for another. We had a higher low. We're going to be looking for another higher high. And where does that take us? I got you. We have this ascending channel that we've been in, that we broke out of. Look at how long we've been in this channel, okay? We've been in this channel since this party kicked off down here at 15,000, okay? We've been in it for a long time. Where would we naturally go back to? We'd go right to the bottom of that channel, and that's where we'd live until we figured out what was going to happen next. So these are your price range. These are your triggers. You know, if we get back above 107, I'm going to for sure call it out that we're hitting 132, but don't assume 132 until 107 is recaptured. Assume 105 to 107. If 95, we have to close a weekly candle above it and respect this curling up price action. This reversal's been in place since November 17th. Every single one of these weekly candles has had a lower high, pushing us back to 95. If I were a bear, I'd be scared right now.
Wow, David, that was absolute money. That's what I'm talking about. Guys, you're going to want to take notes on what he just talked about. That is awesome.
Oh, last thing, Mo, I apologize.
Ahead.
I wanted just to say, because, you know, I teach this all the time, trade the trend, use a stop loss, control position size, and don't overtrade. But everything I shared, because people will say, and you guys know how this goes, Josh sure was bullish on Bitcoin, but then it broke down. I don't have a stop loss on my long-term Bitcoin. I do not. I'm only going to buy. But I do have 2 Bitcoin that I'm trading right now. Okay, it's in my trade account, and your stop loss has to be the bottom of your current weekly candle. Yeah. So if you zoom in on that, guys, real quick, you put the stop loss right. And now this is not a suggestion for what you should do. Okay. But I would put the stop loss right here at 89,000, between 89,200, somewhere in that range. And if it loses it, you got to let it go. The next place to buy back would be a close back above 95. So this would be early entry. Confirmation is 95. Stop loss is around 89. Please use the disciplines associated with trading and investing.
That was beautiful. All right, next up, who do we got? Keenan, you're going to be next up. Let me pull this thing up, get this fixed. Boom. Keenan, crypto thoughts?
My crypto thoughts are, we got like 400 likes. Could we get it to 700, family? Could we get 100% likes? If you never liked a video in your life, please like this one so we can show the algorithm that this is the content that needs to be pushed to other people in the world, where there's so much twerking videos and things of just lust, things of greed, things of all of the deadly sins. Could we get this video of us trying to talk to you for free right here on YouTube about crypto and stocks, and not just ways that we speak of hyping it? We talking about wealth. We talking about long-term. We're talking about how to trade and also how to invest. So shout out to Josh for giving you the real play-by-play. So family, hit that like. And what my thoughts are on crypto is you have to wear 2 hats, or put your crypto mind into 2 different buckets. One of them needs to be your trade bucket. That's what Josh just helped you with. And Josh just told you that he has a trade account, not just a trade. He has a trading account. And then he also has an investing account on Bitcoin, on both. And they're not the same thing. Why is that important? Because you have to have separation between your trades and your investments. When you get those, what you see is, should I have just invested the whole time, or should I have been trading this? So Josh is literally running a scientific experiment. So I say that to say, once you have your investments or your trade hats on, you ask yourself, what should you be investing in? I was talking to someone who was down maybe 70 or 80% on Ethereum Classic because they bet on the wrong horse. But guess what? Keenan Grace bets on the wrong horse sometimes. Larry Jones bets on the wrong horse sometimes. Mo bets on the wrong horse sometimes. Josh, he don't ever bet on the wrong horse. I'm playing. So Josh,
I do. But I do use the stop loss.
But exactly, when we realize this horse is not a stallion, it's actually a donkey with a horse mask on, we see you, we let it go. We let it go. Nope. And then somebody gets in the comments and they say, Keenan, what happened to this? What happened to that? Guess what? Stopped out. It's not a mystery. I have my trade hat on. Sometimes these things don't work out. This is how the market goes. Warren Buffett just retired. Shout out to Warren. Retired at 90-some years old. Best investor in terms of length of all time. The S&P averages 10% returns every year on average. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Warren Buffett, if you look it up, he averaged around 19%, which is basically double the S&P 500. And when you look at the compounding of 19 versus 10, and 10 is good, 10 is the gold standard, but he was doing 19. When you look at that, why wasn't he doing 100% a year? Why wasn't he doing 10,000% a year? You know why? Because he got it wrong sometimes too. But he would cut out of those losers and feed the winners.
Yep.
That's how you are going to trade.
Love it.
You cut out of the losers and you feed into your winners. How many of us, if it's you in the chat, put a 1, have sold out of Palantir or something similar like Robinhood way too early? And you should have held it.
Right here.
We sold out of our winners when we should have held it. But then we look at our portfolios, and now we're talking about AMC, NEO. We talking about these things you might have held on too long when you should have held on to the other things long. So what do? We forgive ourselves for making mistakes. You can't go back and buy that Robinhood. You can't go back and buy Bitcoin at 1,000. You can't go back and do it. What you could do is today decide that once you realize that something is a loser, you don't have to be married to it. You say, yeah, I tried it. I'm down 13% on this hype thing. I'm not going down 31%. I'm not going down 50%. I'm out because I see my Google stock is pumping. I'm up 80% on Google. You know what? I should have bought more. Maybe you still buy more. Is Google a hype stock or is it pumping because it's a great company that's becoming a greater company? We feed into our winners. So with crypto, I'm considering Bitcoin to be my horse, my stallion that I'm investing into. People tell me all the time, Keenan, we need to get into XRP. I like XRP too. People always think it's ore. I often tell you, when you think ore, you're thinking poor. Why? Because when you're thinking ore, you put yourself in a box that ain't real. That box ain't real. You can have this and you can have that. And I learned that as a young person. I remember Kobe Bryant and LeBron James in the NBA. They were trying to, it's like 2007, and they were trying to put them against each other to just try to make popularity in the NBA. And I'm thinking, Team Kobe or Team LeBron, I like them both. I don't have to choose. So when I think about XRP or Bitcoin, it's okay to like both. It's okay to like one more than the other. Like I like Bitcoin way more than XRP. I'm gonna just keep it real. I do like XRP, but I like Bitcoin way better. But I see that I don't have to be an or kind of person thinking or is poor. We don't have to choose. We could get into two different winners for two different reasons. And as long as our reasons stand, then we could keep investing into them. But we got to make sure our reasons are standing. And I often use this example. Google is a great company, but I'll use Apple because I had used this back in even 2019. Apple is a great company. The iPhone 17 has been selling out of the gym. I'm talking about it's going crazy. They've been selling that phone like crazy to the point that they might not even put out the 18 on schedule because the 17 is still selling like crazy. So they might be pushing the 18 back. But if Apple decides and they get 50% of their revenue from selling these phones, if they decide that they ain't selling phones no more, they selling cheeseburgers, guess what? I'm out because the story has changed. They're a different company. So it's okay to say you believe in something now, but if it changes fundamentally, you don't have to believe in it later. We here to make money. Like I told you, buying a house for my mom, she don't want to hear, yeah, you know, Apple is selling, they selling cheeseburgers now. I can't get your house, sorry. She don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. So with all of that being said, invest into your winners as long as the fundamental story is still there, and let go of those losers significantly sooner, because it doesn't mean that you're giving up on the trade totally. If you cut out of something down 10%, 15%, you could jump back in. You could always get back in, but it's harder to recover bigger losses. We're not going down with the ship. We let them drop and we pick them up when they're on the floor. I yield the floor again.
Oh, love it. Larry, I know we're cutting over my hour, so I want to give you the floor for the Because I'm really curious on what you're doing. You've been very good with crypto.
Well, first of all, I want to say I could listen to Keenan all night. He's been preaching both financially and spiritually, man. That's what I feed on. I eat on that. That's good. And then you had me up in that right-hand box, and there was a cat over my head, and I just kept doing like this. Now it's over Keenan's head. Now I understand what it is. So you freaked me out there, Mo. I was like, "What?"
I don't even know how that's on there, to be honest with you. This whole fancy computer stuff. Now it's above Keenan's head.
Right. Like a cat falling. But
yeah,
anyway,
I don't know, man.
So first of all, I forgot to put SoFi in there. I said I'm not buying banks, but I am buying SoFi. You can rewind this. I got my buy zones. I got my deep support and major support. All of that right there. You guys could come back to that a little later. But I want to say that I am Bitcoin is still it for me. You guys know I've been team Bitcoin, right? From the beginning. I just been team Bitcoin. 80% of all of my crypto is Bitcoin, 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 right? And I even now, I'm not saying, oh my God, is crypto winter coming? No. All I think of is, just like he said, did I buy enough Bitcoin? That's the only thing, right, Josh?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I think. Did I buy enough? But I will tell you that when it was time to buy, I was buying. And I was buying. Josh knows, and these guys know. Josh was like, what do you do there? More Bitcoin. When like a year and a half ago, what are you doing? I'm buying Bitcoin. I was buying, I was buying 300 a year before the halving. I was buying Bitcoin. And so now I think a lot of people are going to be surprised this crypto winter of how, I can't talk about the meme coins, how much they're going to fall, but I think Bitcoin is going to surprise a lot of people by the less it falls this crypto winter. There's a 4-year cycle, but it's been altered. It's still 4 years because technically if there is a halving, there is a cycle, right? But the cycle has been altered. And here we are. Josh said it. If this was a cycle ago, I would have been out of crypto. I would be buying nothing. I'd have been sold, knowing what I know now, right? So Bitcoin is my jam. But I also want to tell you that Bitcoin Cash is also, look at that chart for crypto. Like, I like Bitcoin Cash. I like the way it performs. I have my Bitcoin Cash and I haven't sold it, but I just like that chart. Now, I'm going to end by saying this, and I've said this time and time again. I've said, I'm not buying Bitcoin. I said, I'm not buying any XRP. I said, I would not be buying any XRP over $2. And every time I say that, they say, yeah, it's not going back down. And all 5 times it's come back down. I'm still going to say, I'm not buying any XRP. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm not buying any XRP over $2 because then if it comes back down, I'll just buy more. I don't treat XRP like I do Bitcoin. I'm not telling you that you're wrong. I'm just saying I'm not. But I have the guts to buy more when it goes down. See, I have more guts to spend more money at 180. Let's go to, I have more guts when it's down to 180. I have more guts to buy here, Josh, when it's down there to 170 and 180 than to chase over $2, right? Why? Because I trained myself to buy more when people are in fear. Warren Buffett's lesson, I learned it hard in 2007, and I got a good lesson. And it's not any dealings to me. It is Warren Buffett. When you find something you believe in, have the guts to be brave when others are fearful. I yield the floor.
All right, guys, I appreciate everyone being on here. We're going to cut it. And at that point, it's been a great time being here with everyone. I always love it. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, back to our normal day, most likely, which is Wednesday. Unfortunately, my mom had her surgery and everything on Wednesday of this week, which was yesterday. So everything kind of got messed up. So hopefully we can be back on track next time. It's been great. And from all of us, we'll see you next time.
Peace.